Our waters have shaped our landscape and dictated our settlement. Over thousands of years, they evolved a balanced diversity of plant and animal life. We find peace and enjoyment by being immersed in this aquatic environment. Many of us seek the close ties to water you can only find by using a paddle craft. Unfortunately, our water's ecological diversity, and in turn, the quality of the water and the paddler experience, are being impacted by invasive plants and animals. The Northern Forest Canoe Trail, a 740-mile water trail connecting Old Forge, New York and Fort Kent, Maine, understands the need for paddlers to be diligent about doing what they can to prevent the spread of aquatic invasives. The NFCT is made up of 22 streams, 58 lakes and ponds, and 50 miles of portage. Many paddlers go on extended trips. Some paddle the entire length in one expedition. When doing so, they need to transition between water bodies. It is at these transition points when paddlers need to implement the clean, drain, dry method. This method can be used by all paddlers to help prevent the spread of aquatic invasives in any situation where they are taking their craft from one water body to another. It is a simple process.
So for those people that are using the Northern Forest Canoe Trail for recreational use, it's really important that they remember a few things. Prevention and early detection are both extremely critical when it comes to invasive species.
The strange thing about paddlers or boaters spreading milfoils or other aquatic invasives is that it's really easy to prevent, particularly on a boat, a canoe or a kayak. All you have to do is inspect your boat.
Now, it's easy to see the things that you can see, but there are a lot of no-see-ums, as we're calling them now, because a lot of the animals especially have larvae that are microscopic that you may not tend to see on your gear.
The first step is to clean your watercraft.
And I just returned from a little trip on a nearby lake and just got home, and I'm going to show you how I clean my boat to keep it free of invasives so I don't transport them to nearby water bodies on my next trip. First thing I do is I come over to my boat and I inspect it. I look, start at the stern here, and I just look for fragments. So the next thing I do is I usually just grab my hose and spray down the boat. That kind of flushes it out and, cleans it a little more thoroughly.
So a lot of times you'll get mud and plants on the bow and the stern of the boat, especially if you have a skid plate. It's just got all these little nooks and crannies to pick up mud, hold on to plants. And if you don't have access to high pressure water, I just like to get some water in my baler bag and give it a little rinse. Get off what I can. And then take a quick dry towel. Do a little combination of wiping it off, cleaning it off, and rinsing. The next step is to drain your watercraft.
Immediately after exiting a body of water, it's important to clean your boat and also drain the water.
It's helpful to have two people to drain a boat. First, tip the boat to one side, drain the water over the gunnel. Then, tip to both the bow and stern to get any remaining water out of the decking. If you're paddling in a kayak, it's important to drain both the cockpit and the hatches. It's easier to drain your boat with a buddy, but if you're by yourself, open up your hatches, turn your boat upside down, and then lift it up to drain all the hatches and the cockpit. If you have a partner, it's helpful to seesaw your boat, tip it back and forth from bow to stern to get all the water out of the hatches, and tilt it back and forth side to side in order to get all the water off the cockpit.
It's also important to drain out any gear that might have gotten wet. Like these. Bring out any wet clothes you have. And empty any bags that you want. There you go. The final step is to dry your watercraft. The best thing you can use to clean and dry your canoe is a quick dry towel. This quick dry towel is made out of polyester. It's a synthetic. It dries so much faster than this beach towel, which is made out of cotton. And then we've got this baler sponge, which does a really good job at hiding water in the center of it. We try not to use these to bale or to clean or dry the canoe. And a dry environment is one that aquatic invasives can't live in. Your typical quick dry towel is made out of a synthetic material, and you'll see they're much thinner than your typical beach towel. If you're able to open this up and spread it out on a sunny day or hang it out when there's a little bit of wind and sun, it'll dry out pretty quick. If you're presented with a wet and rainy situation when you're transitioning between two water bodies, you may need to stow it in a waterproof bag and save it until you're near a campfire and you can spread it out and let it dry, or the sun comes out again. The good thing about laying your gear out is you could take a good look at each item individually and inspect it, make sure that you've cleaned everything off of it, and just dry it off as best you can. A good final step, especially if you have a short portage between two water bodies, is to dry off your watercraft with your quick dry towel. So it's good to get the inside as well as the outside. So there's a wide variety of water shoes out there that people use to portage and paddle with. I've got a sampling here, and I've got them arranged from what I think would be the ones that would take the longest to dry to the ones I think would take the least amount of time to dry. And they've all got different attributes that are better for certain situations. We recommend traveling with 2 pair of quick dry shoes, so you're more likely to have a dry pair of shoes when you get into a new water body. We suggest alternating them, so using the wet pair that you get out of a water body with to make the portage with, and save a dry pair for when you get into the next water body. So when you're traveling with pets, you still want to implement most of the clean, drain, dry. The clean, you want to make sure they don't have mud or plants, especially on their paws. The drain is not recommended with your pet. Let them handle that on their own. The dry, once again, a quick dry towel. As you have seen, the process to prevent the spreading of aquatic invasives is simple and does not require a lot of time. These steps are necessary if you are transitioning between water bodies. Performing these steps as habit will help ensure pristine paddling experiences in the places we love.